I'm Daniel, the past life regressionist, and it's time to begin.
Lift off and the clock has started.
3, 2, 1. This is Timeless Spirituality. Enjoy Eternity Time.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Timeless Spirituality. So the original plan was to have a new Mirror of Time episode ready for today, but unfortunately, I need a little bit more time with it. No pun intended there, just the way that it is. But to kind of keep with the theme of home and origins and where you're coming from, it's going to be a bit of a stretch. About 2 months ago, I was looking through my computer just to clean things up, and I found a finished recording from an episode that I'd recorded back in early 2022 in a place that it wasn't supposed to be in. Hence, it wasn't in my finished folder. So when I found it, I decided that I was going to air it as part of the next season. But I think today is the most appropriate time to air this one. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm all over the place right now. I'm rattled because I really wanted to have that Mirror of Time ready for today. But I guess things don't always go according to plan. But I will have that ready for the next new episode. So I hope you guys enjoy this gem from almost 3 years ago. And here's the really cool thing about this gem. This is with someone who is very special to me, someone who I admire more than words can express. Her name is Gloria Otero, and she was my very first past life regressionist. She is the one who brought me around to this world, being like, Daniel, you have to do this. You have to do this. You have to do this. And we talk a little bit about it in the episode, but Gloria's just, words just can't describe how amazing she is. So I am so excited that I finally get to present this episode, and a little embarrassed that it took so long. Maybe I just need to be a little more well-organized. Yes. So, okay, we're back. With all of that said, if you would like to book a regression with me to discover who and where you have been throughout time, you can reach me on Instagram at The Past Life Regressionist or my website, thepastliferegressionist.com. And now, it's time to begin. Gloria, welcome to Timeless Spirituality.
Thank you, Daniel, for inviting me. Thank you so much.
I'm happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay, so before we find out more about who Gloria is, what is your favorite song that has to do with time and why?
Actually, the best song I ever hear about time is the one that my friend Daniel has written. And I always, every time I see him, I always ask him to play it because I think it's one of the most amazing songs ever written.
Aww.
So,
well, I definitely wasn't expecting that. Thank you, Gloria.
But it is. I always tell everybody, you need to hear the song my friend Daniel has written. And every time I see you, I ask you to play that. For me, that's my favorite time. My favorite song about time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
At this point, I don't believe I've talked about it on the show. So the song is called Will a Kiss Remind You? And it's the story about finding a lost love in another life. So love eclipses time and space. So
well, now you need to let everybody know about that because I just letting everybody know it's the most amazing song ever written about time. So.
That really means a lot to me. Thank you, Gloria.
You're welcome.
So who is Gloria?
Ooh, that's a complex question. Well, I'm Gloria Otero. I was born in Argentina, in case you're wondering about the accent, because everybody's guessing by this point, where is Gloria from? And I was born a child that was different than others. I can heal and see things that others couldn't. And so I'm a tango dancer. I began dancing and projecting the energy when I was little. And then I became a Reiki healer, past life regressionist with QHHT, the Dolores Cannon style. I also do akashic records, and I help people to find their mission in life. I also do sound and music for healing. I'm a sound healer. And I also teach yoga and meditation and mindfulness to children from ages 4 up. So I work making the human beings find their way and feel better and use mindfulness on their life, from little kids to adults. So that's who Gloria is.
Let's talk a little bit about you being a practitioner. Why did you want to become a past life regressionist?
The story is very interesting. I did first Reiki and akashic records and so many other styles of wellness. And then my mom passed away, and I was in Argentina. And one of my friends said to me, why don't you go to this hypnosis place, because you're not feeling good, you need to let go of things of your childhood. I didn't know what that was or what past lives were. I was in another part of what is mindfulness, right? Mostly of the healing through my hands. And then I went to this therapist, which was not QHHT, but very similar. And I just went into the regression myself. I really scared the poor lady, because it takes, everybody who does quantum healing knows how hard it is to get a person relaxed and into, the past life. And she said, why are you here, Gloria? And right away, she needed to carry me to the table and the chair where I needed to be regressed, because I was already gone. And then I started seeing things from my past, from the Egyptian times, and I was seeing my future and my past and everything, and was what I call my awakening. Even though I have the gift since I was little, that was the main awakening. Everything makes sense. Where I was coming from, what I have to do, my past lives, everything. So I came back and I was thinking, it has to be a place here, then they do something similar, or I'm going to run. 1 week after I went with my son, he was going to run Reiki, actually, at a very early age, and they invite the moms. And in front of me was the woman, which I'm very talkative and I'm very, friendly to everybody. I want to talk to everybody. She was not paying attention to me. She was reading this book. And I was like, wow, that book must be very interesting, because she's not even saying hello to me. In one point, she bring the book down and look at me. And I took that second, right? What are you reading? Just to connect. She looked at my eyes very straight like this, focusing on my eyes, and say, the book from Dolores Cannon, how do you not know yet? And put the book back. And I was like, oh, I couldn't breathe. I was thinking, that's definitely a message. Because that's the only word she said in the 4 or 5 hours we were there. And then I felt like this thing going on my stomach, like, oh, I have to go buy the book. I have to go buy the book. And the next day I bought the book. I started reading about Dolores. The next day I was on the web page seeing how I can have a reading first on that style, because I want to do it. I want to help people, like this woman was helping me. So in less than a month, I read I think all her books, one after another, 24/7. I was reading. And then I have a session with somebody. I call Dolores Cannon, because she was alive on that time when I did that. And she said, well, I'm far away from you, but you can look on the practitioners in your area, and then you can have a session there. So that's what I did. I found a practitioner in my area. I did the session, and she was very interested on what I have to say. because she was also connected to the same things I was. So it wasn't just, it was a coincidence that I found her or she found me, right? And then from there, next thing I say, I'm going to save money and I'm going to take this course and help others. And that's what I did. I saved money, I took the course, and right after the course, I was crying the day I got the certification because I was very emotional because now I can help others like Dolores was doing at that point. And that was the beginning of why I entered this world of QHHT.
So for everyone who listens to the show and likes it, or for everyone who listens to the show and isn't much of a fan, I guess my question is, why are you listening to it? Okay, anyways, I was sidetracking there. If you like the show, a lot of the reason for me doing the show is Gloria. And let me back up even further from there. If some of you have done sessions with me and you've liked those sessions, or maybe you haven't, I don't even know why I keep bringing that up. I'm sure you have. I mean, come on, they're amazing sessions because it's an amazing process. You have Gloria to thank for that, because Gloria not only was my first past life regressionist, but it was Gloria who encouraged me to become a practitioner.
Yes.
So, secret's out. Thank you for that,
we're
Gloria.
saying everything now. You're welcome. The moment I saw you, I was like, you are going to be a QHHT. I know you are. And then Daniel decided to do it. I was very, very happy because I know that's who he is.
Well, you make it sound like it took me a day to come to that conclusion. You were encouraging me for almost a year and a half.
I was really pushy, I would say.
I'm glad you did. Because I love doing it.
Because I knew what he needed, so I was strong, saying, yes, come on, you can do this. I know it's your path, But Daniel is a little skeptical sometimes, but he's open to everything at the same time. So I was like, yes, go Daniel, yeah. So I'm very happy of your journey.
Thank you. And just thank you for everything that you've done for me. I appreciate you
you're welcome.
More than words can even
Same
express.
for you. You have done for me too. So thank you.
So Gloria.
Yes.
What would you like to talk about today? I want to hand the floor over to you.
Yes. I would like to talk about why we are here, why we are in a human form, why we decide to come to Earth. Humans are always in the circle of, okay, I'm a human, I need to go work, I need to study, buy a house, buy a car, and then get married, have dogs, and then retire, and then go home, I would say. So we have created a box, very definite box around us. And we pass the box to our children as well. So it's very hard for them also to come out of that shell or box, to be who they want to be and embrace what they came here to do. Not all the time we fit on that box. I definitely didn't. So I encourage people to find why they are here. When they find their mission, their passion, their ways, why they're here, what they're here to do. Did they come here to heal something, to learn something, to teach something, to assist Mother Earth in the ascension process? Are you a new soul, an old soul? What is it that you're here for? And when you come out of the box and take a minute to find, who are you besides the human form and the things that they put into a box? Well, then you find that you begin to heal. Then you begin to find the answers. And then you begin to focus on what life is really about. Some people even forget about happiness, which is a simple thing, right? I tell people, what makes you angry? Because I teach mindfulness and I teach meditation. So I teach people how to meditate in an easy way. The goal is many ways to meditate, from listening a song, just relaxing, to all the way then you blank your mind like Buddha, under a tree and don't move. But that's very difficult to do. We cannot do that. So I teach people how to meditate and find their happiness on the regular basis when they have to go to work, and how to integrate that in the regular life. And something interesting I have found is I ask people, okay, tell me what make you angry. Right away I get the answer. People say, this make me angry and this and that, the traffic, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I say, okay, breathe in and breathe out. What make you happy? And there is always silence. And people thinking, what makes me happy? And I'm thinking, as humans, don't you be the opposite? Don't you be aware of what makes us happy so we can find more happiness? But we put all the focus in what makes us angry and disappointed and all that. So I tell people, find what is the make you happy. Find your happiness. That's the beginning of the healing journey. So if something make you happy, why you are not doing it? Why you're so focused on what make you angry, And I also find, and when people find the happiness, their mission, they find themselves, and now they have a purpose. It doesn't matter if it's something small or big. Each human being holds a piece of the puzzle. We cannot form a picture if we don't have that little piece of the puzzle we all have. That's why the collective consciousness, the oneness is important. But those are big words, and some people say, I don't know what oneness is, I don't know what the collective consciousness is. So think about community. Everybody's familiar with that word. If we work in community with people in harmony, we begin to process a different part of the heart that holds the love and compassion. And then we begin to let go of that anger to one another, to our family members, to the neighbor, to the person that cut us off in the freeway, to everybody who's around us. When we begin to see each person holding the piece of the puzzle and being as important, even if the piece is small or big, even if they are at the beginning of the journey or they are at the higher part of the journey, we are all learning and we are all teachers. We all have both ways. I learn from the children that I'm teaching to. They come with answers, then I'm like, oh, wow, I've never think about that. They have a bigger awareness. The more adults we become, the more busy we are in finding those answers. And we get caught in that everyday life that don't allow us to be more loving, compassionate, in working with the community, but also loving ourselves. Everybody say, you should love yourself before you love others. And I say, okay, what that's supposed to mean? And they don't have the answer. They're just repeating words. So I tell people, don't repeat words. Understand what those words mean. What mean loving yourself is I see people sometimes preaching things and they are not doing themselves. So it begins with each individual finding who they are, what they're here to do, especially in the times now, as you see, there's more awareness about spirituality. I say years ago, because I've been doing this for a long, long time. So I see the process. I see people before saying, you are what? What is that? They have no clue what all what I say is. Even my tax person. So it's okay. Slowly people will know. And in today's days, I have my kids, which are already in college now, right? And my daughter used to tell the friends, you know, in school, they ask you what your parents do for a living, right? And she will come and say, Mommy, what am I supposed to say? Because when I tell them, all the kids are like confused, the teacher is confused, everybody's confused. And I'm like, okay, just tell them I'm a teacher. I say, you know, just tell them I do yoga and meditation, which is little now people understand what yoga and meditation is. So slowly it's getting there, you know. But as the time went by with my second child, which is younger, now he can say, oh, my mom is a yoga and meditation teacher, which is the easy words, no QHHT or past life regressionist or akashic records, you know. And kids understand what the word mindfulness means. And that is amazing. Before, they didn't know what that word meant. Now they understand. I need to relax by breathing. I need to use my mindfulness. And that is a step forward in humanity, because we are getting into the point we need to find that we are ready for the awakening. We're ready to connect with Mother Earth as an entity, not just the dirt or just around the entity that it is there. Mother Earth, Gaia, has a soul, has a body, has emotions. And in this moment, more than ever, we are feeling her emotions. So we have to assist Mother Earth as she is feeding us with love, with food. So I always tell people to not focus too much on just, and I'm a past life regressionist, okay? And I tell people, do not focus just on your past. So, and people get confused because I'm not a regular traditional anything, as Daniel knows. And he's also the same as me in different ways. You know, I'm more like, you know, different, but we are the same at the same time.
I'm a little more bullheaded.
Yes, you are. So when I do the past life, when I do the akashic record readings, I tell people, we're going to heal, understand the present, heal the past, but most of all, we have to understand then we are in control of the future we are building. Because I see people 10 years after and they still in the same problems, in the same space, with the same questioning, with the same old. I'm so happy to see them. Sometimes I just see people for a little bit and then I find out they are all doing these amazing things. I'm like, yes, you create that timeline, then it is the one with the best outcome for your future life. And every day we have choices. So yes, let's begin to heal in the past. Let's connect to who we are and know, all of you have to know, you have a possibility to build a new future. It doesn't matter your past. I have so many past lives. Then I know Daniel, maybe, yes. And I know friends and I know people who come have a session with me. And I'm like, oh, that's why you find me, because we know each other from before.
Yeah, Gloria was my grandmother.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we've known each other in other lives too.
Yes, many lives, you know, because nobody comes just one life together. We all find each other over and over in different lives. And sometimes with the past lives, you come here to heal it, but not all the time to heal it. Many times you come to integrate those gifts that you use before than you possess in your previous lives. I find a lot of people, for example, in this life, they love natural medicine and they love to cook and make people be healed. And they go to past lives and they were shamans. Then they used to work with the plants, or they were healers. then they use plant for healing, or they used to work with Mother Earth, and that they have so many different lives. And now it makes sense why they are drawn to those things. So I tell everybody, pay attention of what you like, because there is the answer of who you were and who you need to be and integrate. But then sometimes when they have the past life regressions or the akashic records, then I also bring them to their past lives, but they don't need to go under. I do it for them. I find out that they integrate those gifts from before, and then they go take a course, and they are the best one on that. They have done this before. It's not their first rodeo, They done this before many times. And in this time, they are here to master that gift that they had before. And with people they already know. So when they remember those gifts, they are also ready for their mission. And now makes sense who I want to be. And sometimes it's a journey, because everything we learn or we do, sometimes it looks like a separate thing. I don't understand why I learned this and that. And sometimes it's things that nothing has to do one with another. But then when we come into clarity, what we have to do and who we are, we're like, oh, now I understand. Now I tie all the dots together. Before they were dots, them didn't make any pictures. Now I how the drawings the kid do, when it's dots and then you follow the lines and then there is a picture there. How you call that, Daniel? I don't remember in English.
Like where it goes from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4.
Yes, those.
Yeah. The ones you would do when you were sitting at a restaurant.
Yeah, when you were little, when you are like, oh, this is numbers and I need to tie all the dots. And then you're like, oh, it's a picture of a dog, That's what life is. All those dots don't make no sense. They're just numbers. And then you begin connecting one with another until you see the full picture. And that's where you are. The aha moment, And then you say, now I understand why I learned this and did that and meet that person. Then didn't make any sense. Or why I went through so much. That's another thing that people don't understand. They think, well, why I have a life of suffering? Why I have this or that? And then they become mentors to people is going through that. So yes, we want a perfect life. I want a childhood that was perfect, but it wasn't. That's the reality. I learned through my suffering how to help others. I learned through everything that has happened to me, which sometimes I say, really, did I choose to go through that? That was what I chose as a spirit. What I was thinking, because, they say you choose everything, who you met, what's happening to you, all this happening. Sometimes I say, really, did I choose that? But then everything makes sense. I am who I am today for all that happens to me. So for everybody who's out there suffering for anything or thinking things are not going to go well for me because everything goes on the same circle, same all. Yes, get out of the circle. It is an opportunity for you to heal, to move, to do, and to be a best version of yourself. Doesn't matter what's happened to you in the past. Every day is a new beginning. Every day you have the chance and the choice to make a new future and a different future for yourself. So when you understand that, and you understand that it's not about I cannot do it, it's yes, you can, and it doesn't matter anything else. Take a second, breathe, see who you want to be, what you want to do, heal, move on, and begin the new future, the best version of you. So that's what I think is where everybody should be in the today thinking. Also for kids, right? Teenagers, and they're going through so much because They were not understood when they were kids. If you are a parent, take a minute to see who your kids are. Let them be out of the box. I have seen so many parents because, like I say, I work with children. I have a program called Kids of Tomorrow. I teach mindfulness to them. And I have so many kids come and tell me what's happening to them. But the parents are putting them on the box of what they think it should be. And then when those kids become teenagers, they're lost. And then the parents come back, oh, why is my kid harming himself or not going through life and is depressed? I say, we're always focusing when everything is already broken as teenagers or as adults. And I say, hey, I'm working with the children. What about we try to fix things before it breaks? Then if we give the tools to those children to learn how to manage stress, if we give to those children the opportunity to learn mindfulness, to find the happiness, so when it comes an adult, like I said before, doesn't tell me fast what is wrong, but it tells me what is happiness. What do you think that child will be? It will be a happy adult. It will be an adult then find their path. Why don't you start there? And it's so funny because I find so much resistance when I tell people I have a non-profit to help the children, and they say, do you work with dogs? I'm like, no, with kids. Do you work with adults? Yes, also, but I'm also helping the children. Do you do? I'm like, yes, people do know hearing children. They are important. That's where we need to begin. So it's so funny when I found those things, but it's so beautiful at the same time because I'm saying what I'm giving the children, it's very important. They need it. They need more of that. So at the same time, bring me joy and happiness to know that I'm doing something that it is needed at this present moment. So that's how I think. Let's begin with the children, help the teenagers, heal the adults, and begin our new path of discovery, healing, to find that oneness, to be in the collective consciousness, understanding we all know each other from before. Not randomly you meet somebody for good and for bad. And if you ever done a session before in QHHT or the Akashic Records with me, or with Danielle or with any practitioner out there, that nothing is coincidence. Everything is connected. We all know each other. For lessons, good, bad, doesn't matter. I want to clarify something about the Akashic Records because at this point I feel some people in the audience might be, what's the difference between QHHT and the Akashic Records? Because they go to the same location, right? As part of the session goes, people who do QHHT, they go to hypnosis regression. When we do the Akashic Records, we go to the same space, but the person is awake and I'm the one who provides the answers for them versus them going in that state. So the outcome is the same. You heal the lives, past lives, you heal the present, and you provide the answers for the possible future outcome of everything. The Akashic Records is like a library. Then it has all the information, like the internet is for us today. And when we do QHHT, we have the subconscious that take us to those places. So at the end of everything is almost the same. What's just different techniques to achieve the same. So that's the beauty of having all these available to us. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing all that. I just want to comment on a few things.
Yes.
First is I am definitely a proponent of Akashic Record readings. I personally don't facilitate them, but my suggestion for anyone is I believe it's always best to have the experience for yourself, and that being going through your own regression, because I just personally feel that there's something very different about having that experience for yourself as opposed to being told the information. But
Oh, yes.
with that said, though, I feel that Akashic Record readings are very important at the same time, because sometimes you're not ready to experience some of that information for yourself. Sometimes it may be a little too heavy for you to actually go through that experience. And that's where I believe Akashic Records are so helpful, because then you will have someone like Gloria who can receive that information for you and almost have the experience herself and then relay it to you. And it still resonates with you, because on that deeper level, you're like, yeah, that makes sense. I can feel that. I can feel that I went through that experience in a past life, but it's probably just a little too difficult for you to experience it for yourself. And also, I feel that Akashic Records readings are great for someone who may be a bit timid of the hypnosis process, which I can understand a lot of people's hesitation to it. So that's the great thing about the Akashic Record readings, is you are fully conscious, so you are not under it all.
Yes, but like you say, it's nothing better than see things with your own eyes if you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I believe exactly what you say. If you have the possibility to do the past life regression and see that with your own eyes and feel it and remember who you were and integrate those gifts, nothing compares to that. That's why it's an amazing system. That's why I say thank you to Dolores. Is beautiful. Like Daniel say, it's nothing more ingrained in you than see it with your own eyes. And when the people are not ready to see it with their own eyes yet, and they are skeptical, then it's when the Akashic Records are better for them.
I can share a personal experience with you guys, one that happened for me with Gloria. She was doing an Akashic Records reading for me, and something very horrific came through. A past life that I had experienced that was very horrific. And at the time, I don't believe I was ready to see it, let alone I was barely ready to hear it, but I needed to hear it. I was so focused on that word mission. And there were other people out there who were filling my head with a bunch of garbage. They were filling my head to the point of saying nothing else matters except the mission. And what that basically led me to do was to neglect the pain that I was carrying around inside, because I was so hyper focused on the mission. The mission. I'm here to help change the world. I'm here to help do this. And I quite literally told myself, none of that matters, that pain that I'm carrying around, because the mission is all that matters. Boy, was I kidding myself. So I am so happy that that message came through at the time that it did, because I think it planted a seed for me where I may not have given it much thought at the time, and that message being what Gloria had seen of one of my past lives, which I was definitely not ready to see that. Mm-hmm. I ended up seeing it a little later down the road, but I definitely wasn't ready to see it at the time. But it planted that seed for me to start nudging in that direction of, maybe this is something that's important for me to investigate. Maybe this is something that's important for me to get to the bottom of, because I had created my own narrative to answer the subconscious feelings that I had inside. And my God, that narrative was so wrong. I was just totally fooling myself. But it was so helpful for me to get that message when I did, because I do believe that it opened up the door for me to, in time, go and explore. Now, I want to comment on something else that you said. And I believe that we're on the same page, so please correct me if I'm wrong here, but I just want to make sure it's clarified for everyone else.
Yes.
You made a statement, and I believe it was, I'm going to paraphrase it right now, about it doesn't matter what happened before. And I agree with that statement, but I think the clarification comes with, it doesn't define who you are. Your past doesn't define you, but things may need to be addressed, such as the message that came through for me when you did that reading for me. I refused to look at it in the here and now, because it was playing out for me in my present day life, but I refused to look at it. It didn't play out the same way, but the feelings carried over, and I'm going to use that word, manifested themselves in different events in my life now, which I refused to look at. So yes, it didn't matter what happened for me before that day, or it doesn't matter what happened for me yesterday. All that really matters is what happens from here on out, the way I live my life from here on out. But that doesn't mean that those things that happened in the past aren't worth looking at for me because they still have a hold over me to some extent. And until I am able to fully release it by confronting those things, that's what I feel a lot of the quote unquote mission is to work on those things for myself, because in the process, I'm coming to a deeper understanding of humans and humanity. And then I'm able to be out there helping people because I believe I have this deeper understanding, and helping people in a way of giving them the tools to release the shackles of the past so they are no longer held back by those subconscious feelings, beliefs, outdated patterns, the things they no longer need. So was I on the right track with that one?
Yes,
I think that's what you meant to say, right?
Okay. Because what we need to do, like I say before, we need to go to the past to heal it, to understand it. We need to go to the past to see who we were before, what gift do we have. It's so much, everything determines who we are today. And I'm not talking just the past of past lives, the past of this life is what I say before. You meet somebody, you go through pain and suffering in this life or in the previous one, and then you're like, what for? Why? And then you say, oh, everything has a why. It wasn't that I just went through that because, just for fun. We program what we have to experience in this life. We program all those dots that make sense later. And that's very important. That's why I tell people, you need to heal your past. You need to move forward, because it is also people that are always in the past, but they don't heal. We need to go there. We need to heal. We need to remember. We need to awaken what we used to know. And then everything makes sense. Okay, now it makes sense. Now moving on. Then you go to the third part, which is the future. Remember, it's not linear. Everything connects to everything, past, present, future. And that's what I want people to understand, that nothing determines that you need to be stuck. You can change, heal your past in this life, integrate things, find your happiness, and begin the new you. Everything connects to the same dots, that at the end, when we see it and we want to be better, healing everything, we're going to, oh, now makes sense. And we all know that, because if we live past life, we know everything we have today makes sense, why we are doing it and why we are experiencing that. And then we build a new future.
Yeah, easy peasy.
Yeah. Well, not that easy peasy, right?
So one other thing I wanted to touch on is, you bring up a good point about children and purpose and how children are important too.
Yes.
One of my pet peeves are some of the people that I interact with who are given a book about their child being a crystal child or an indigo child or any of these terms. It's at least with what I see, and this isn't with everyone, but they walk away with this perception that their child is now the second coming of Jesus. And
oh, sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. And it bothers me because I feel in the act of doing that. Well, one, I believe every child is special to one extent or another. And kids are just supposed to be kids. Kids are meant to be kids. But with that said, what I love about your program with Kids of Tomorrow, it's been a few years since I've seen it in action, so maybe it's evolved a bit since I've last seen it. But what I love about your program is, yes, while you are teaching mindfulness, you're also giving kids playtime. You're having them interact and play with each other. They get to run around. They get to do science experiments. They get to have fun and be kids. And I think that is so important.
So how I achieve that is I begin the class telling them body, mind, and spirit are all important to be in balance. Doesn't matter if you want to be a scientist or you want to be an artist or you want to be a healer. It's the same. So we do the yoga for the body so they understand. And doesn't matter if you are an engineer or whatever you want to do. You don't need to forget about your body. Your body is part of you. Keep it healthy. So I teach them healthy habits, how to eat, and how to have the daily life with richness. And then we do the hands-on projects, all through games. They are kids. They have to have fun. Otherwise, they will not assimilate. And that's what I say. It's like they find out who they are, what they like to do, and they can do it through play. And they can also be mindful about it. If they are an artist and they play music, what kind of music? What is the music for? If they create a machine, is this machine that you're creating good for the environment? How you can make it better? So it comes with mindfulness of what it is around versus what making more money as a corporation. What about the machine? Yes, can make you money, but also is it harmful to the earth? Is it good for the people? Use the mindfulness. If we teach that to the kids, they're going to be whoever they're supposed to be. There is not a child more special than the other. They are all the same. But the problem is they put them on boxes. Remember how I started this conversation? The parents say, oh, you are a little mindful. They're coming of the Messiah and they are in a box, the poor children. And like, no, they have a gift. What is it? How can we develop? How can this person become part of the society and bring that thing then they came here to bring? And that's why I say about the purpose, right? The child has a purpose, but he's a child. He has to play. He has to find himself. He needs to understand suffering and understand happiness as every human being, and then find what is that gift and develop that gift versus putting them on a box. These kids have everything. They're awakened to everything. And it used to be in the 60s, 70s, then the indigo child, they call it, because of the colors of the auras. And that's why the term indigo. That's a whole topic also there. Then we can have another day because I can talk for hours about just that topic. It is the same. Nobody is the Messiah. We're all as important. Every child is important. Every single thing they do is important. They all bring one piece of the puzzle. Exactly how I say before. So I'm going back to the some things I say because it needs to be clarified. It has to be understood. So every child is important. Every child has a gift. Every child can be using mindfulness regardless of what they're going to do in the future as their careers. Every child can find happiness. Every child can be part of the society, no matter how old they are. I have conversations with 40 years old more deep than with a 40-year-old. And it's what it is, So who is important, who is not? Everybody is. We all hold that peace. Just heal. Find the present, find your peace, and move forward with it. So we can all get together to form that better society and better humanity. That's what I think.
I think that's a perfect place to end it. So
yeah.
Where can everyone reach you?
Okay, so like I say, I'm Gloria Otero. You might find many Gloria Oteros, but I have a web page. It's holisticgloria.com. I also have the page for the children, kidsoftomorrow.org. I also have music for healing. And in my webpage, I also have free meditations for children, for kids. And I teach the parents how to help the child to meditate. And it's all for free, available to all. I also have binaural music in Spotify. You can find me as Gloria Otero or the album Creation to Ascension. And all that, you can find so many tools to help the children and to help the adults in the regular basis, daily life, through meditations, through music, to play, to many different things. So I'm also in Facebook, of course, and Instagram, as everybody does.
Well, thank you so much for being my guest today. And thank you for helping bring me to this space.
I'm so happy. Very, very, very happy. So thank you, Daniel, for inviting me and allow me to express myself. And hopefully, if I touch one person's heart or one children's heart today, then we did something beautiful. So
Well, it's an honor to have you on.
Okay, thank you so much. I see you next time. And anytime, any topic, I'm here.
I'm going to take you up on that.
Okay, thank you.
Fellow time travelers, your journey through time awaits you. Just want to thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. And if you're interested in discovering who, when, and where you have been throughout time, and you'd like to book a session with me, just go ahead and send me a message on Instagram at the Past Life Regressionist, or you can reach me through my website, yourpastliferegressionist.com.